sisters in Christ.
Woo, woo, woo.
Now listen, I know we've been gone about 2 weeks. Don't worry about we've been gone 2 weeks. Just know we here now.
And we back. And we ready.
And listen, don't mind my hair. I'm on my dread journey, okay?
And she doing good.
I'm holding strong for those who've been doubting me. Okay? Have
Wink,
a little
wink.
faith in me. What's up, y'all? So we are doing a mukbang.
A mukbang.
Whatever.
However you say it.
Yeah, I was gonna say however you say it.
We doing
So,
that.
We got some Lisa's chicken here.
Can you show yours?
Now, here's where I'm disappointed at. Cause you go ahead and show yours.
Okay.
I
chicken
got
tenders and green beans and coleslaw.
yeah, and I got chicken tenders, fries, and okra,
Okra.
and I got me some tea.
And a Fanta.
But here's where I'm a little disappointed at, and because my mindset was gizzards, okay, gizzards and some more gizzards, okay. I get there and guess what I ordered?
Gizzards and some more gizzards.
I ordered chicken tenders.
What? She forgot.
And it wasn't until after the gentleman behind me, he was like, yeah, let me get your 12 gizzards. And I was like, ah, God. And they already had my order ready and everything. And I was like,
Dang, man.
I do not want to be that customer. Be like, can you take this back? I want the gizzards instead.
Yeah, because
you
they
know?
like to do stuff to your food. You never know.
You know, so I'm gonna get my gizzards later, but I was just so, these tenders ain't hitting it for me. They good, but they ain't hitting it for me.
And
Like
I don't
gizzards.
eat chicken on the bone, so
You a
it's
pastor
perfect for me.
You and pastor the same way. I
don't
have my
know.
moments.
And his favorite pie is pumpkin pie. My favorite pie is not pumpkin, pecan pie.
I would say
That's
swim.
That's my favorite, and the chicken off the bone. So when I found that out, I was like, yes, we can go eat. Go eat.
We got
man.
something in common. Okay. But yeah, we will be
Tell
doing a
them all.
mukbang today, as we said earlier. And we're simply going to be talking about our past relationships.
Our past relationship, because I've only had one serious.
Yes, ship. We both only had like one serious.
And she is 20.
Oh, I'm 25.
And I'm 24. So, one serious relationship. I think we're doing good. I think.
Yeah, you know, some people. Anyway, so
Yeah.
So the first question: how long was your relationship, and was it serious?
You want to start? You want me to start? I can
You start, and I'll piggyback off you.
Okay.
And this would not be a ASMR. All right.
Right. But if I burp, please forgive me already. Excuse me in advance. Okay. So me and this particular person started dating 2000.
So you say a particular person.
Yes. 2012. And we broke up 2015.
Yeah, I was in there for a good minute.
And 2013, he proposed and asked our pastor to marry us. But somewhere down the line, and yes, it was serious. That was the half of this question. It was very serious. But you know, things happen, and you know, when you are acting single, you might as well be single. And I'm not a game, so you can't play with me. So
She plays no game.
that's just how it is. I'm very serious when it comes to that because of like my mom and you know the past relationships. Like you know, I just never really seen on my mom's side like really good, God-fearing, however you want to say it, relationships or marriages. Let me say it like that. And I always knew God was calling me to be different. Not that marriage and one marriage was gonna be it. Kids before marriage was not an option. Sex with multiple men was not an option. So that's why it's so serious to me, that area of my life. But yeah, that was.
Well, got a little chicken right here. If I'm still chewing, forgive me. Anywho, so with me, we were together a year and a month. I guess you could say we talked about 2 months before, cause okay, So we started talking 2015, October in 2015, and we made it like, I guess official in December, somewhere in December.
So yours is more recent.
So December 2015, we were pretty much all together 2016. And then January 2017, everything was cut off. For me, it was serious. Because, I mean, I've only had one serious relationship. And me, when it comes to guys, I'm very picky. And I'm very...
As you should be.
Like, when dudes try to talk to me now, I'm like... What's your purpose? What's your goal? Like,
who sent you, bruh?
Right. Like, dudes, I wouldn't say they annoy me, but
a lot of them do. That's true.
It's something I take it very seriously. Especially me, I'm very a loving person.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going to spend all my time and effort with you, you have to be worth it. You feel me? But for our relationship, it was serious enough to where he was, like an hour away, 45 minutes, an hour away. It was almost to the point to where I was going to transfer my job to be closer. I was going to move in with him. We were going to get married. Shebang.
Yeah.
And when January came around, pretty much I would say there was a difference in our relationship like around October, November of 2016. And I had a dream that he cheated. And at the time, I didn't necessarily have proof, but it's just something that you know within.
That you know.
But that wasn't like the sole purpose because I didn't have proof on it. It was when I had the dream, it was like, no, he loves me. He would never.
Girl, that's the same thing I was saying. Got pulled out of that reality quick.
And when when time after that, you be like, okay, yeah, I can see that. Things start unfolding. You like,
Yep.
So, for me in a relationship, I like to see change, not something that's going to be the same thing over and over and over, because I was like, our relationship is not going anywhere. And I just looked at a lot of things as far as like, okay, if I marry him,
yeah,
am I going to be able to deal with this? Am I ever going to deal with the people in his life? Am I going to be able to do this?
Girl.
So that's a lot of consideration that I had to look into. And pretty much when I told him like we should break off our relationship, he was just like, okay, cool, I love you. And so even though it hurt, but later on down the line, I'm like, who spends like a year together and you just say, oh, okay,
I love you.
Okay, like what? And then even one friend was like, oh, I think y'all should just go to premarital counseling. And I'm like, no, because I feel like if that's something that he really wanted, he would have fought for it. You know
Yes.
how they always say if you want it bad enough, you do whatever it takes to do it.
Exactly. I'm not gonna drag you somewhere just to keep you.
Excuse me? For me in a relationship, I felt like if I'm the type of person, if you don't want to do something, I'm not going to force you to do it.
Absolutely not.
It should be an easy thing.
Been there, done that.
And when I think about like how our relationship went, I was the one who put forth a lot of the effort, a lot of the work.
Okay.
I drove all the way 45 to an hour.
And that's something that should never happen. I'm so sorry. That's something that should never happen. As a male, you should never have your woman driving more than, a certain amount of time to come see you.
Yeah. Like it should be, so pretty much our relationship, I was the one who did the effort. So I was like, I don't know if I can, but it was because I was so sorry about that little pause right there. The camera cut off, but Saints, we are back again.
We back.
But where I said that? I don't remember. My mom.
You was telling me, you was saying how you was doing the important, like you were doing the most stuff. Like you were driving to see him. And
Yeah, so I was the one who put forth the effort, drove
Word.
out there. I mean, one time he was sick, because we had like a thing to where I would only go when I got gas to go. And so it was one time I had spent like my last, because he was sick, and I drove all the way there.
He should have gave you money every time you went.
This is Saints.
Excuse me,
You know,
y'all.
I feel situations happen to where when your next come, you be able to know what you're looking for.
You're right.
Because, you know,
You're
since
right.
since that was my first, you know, it was like, oh, we're so perfect. I love him. And woo-hoo-hoo.
Looking
But-
past everything.
Right. And that's one thing my mom always said. She was like, once you say love, you know, that puts a blinder on your eyes. And I was like, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You know, at first I was like, Mama, you tripping. You don't know what you're talking about, girl. I'm telling my mama she don't know what she's talking
Right.
about.
Like,
But
she
okay.
ain't been through it.
Right. And so it was, I honestly feel that it was just a blessing for me and a bullet dodged. Oh, glory. It was somebody asked me after the relationship. They were like, hey Bree, if he asked if y'all to get back together, would you?
No.
And for a moment, it was like, because that's what I was used to.
Yeah.
I was like, well, maybe, just maybe. And then, but now, honey,
I couldn't imagine. The day after it happened, there's something about me feeling like I'm just accepting whatever just to be accepting, because I was like, man, let some people tell it. I was the one that was like fawning and wanted it to happen so bad.
Right.
Marriage, I was just, you know, so after marriage.
Yeah.
Like, it's just what I wanted so badly. But what people who know us, like our church family, people who are close to me, what they don't know is what happened before we actually started coming to church.
yeah,
Like, when we first got together, like 3 months into the relationship, he was like, I love you. I'm so scared to tell you this because I'm afraid you might find it weird and all this other kind of stuff. And I was like, you know, that's not weird, you know, blah, blah, blah. And although it is kind of weird, but you don't want to tell nobody that, but it was, you know, kind of weird. He was telling me, like, within the first year, he was like, oh, I want to marry you. I'm going to marry you when we, you know, graduate and this and that. I want you to have my kids. And I was like, you know, hold up. Like,
chill, bro.
Like, you know, we don't know if we're going to be together
Yeah,
in 6 months. Like, you know, or whatever. Like, you know, I was like, and furthermore, I've always pictured myself as a wife and mom, but dang, I don't know if I want to have kids for sure yet, you know?
yeah,
And so I think what started like, it was going, you know, great, and, you know, we were getting through things, and certain things happened that I shouldn't have looked past, but I did. And I think,
that's what happened.
yeah, because we got into, you know, a couple arguments, but this particular argument that we got into, we were in the car, and he got really upset and pushed my head up against the seatbelt thing. But nobody knows that. Well, now everybody knows.
Now you know.
Whoever watched the video, now people know. But nobody had ever knew that. I never told not one person, nobody, never, because I didn't want them to look at him like, oh,
Ain't
like,
it crazy
you
how
did
we
this?
do that? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want them to, like, look at him like, you know, such and such. So, you know, he said sorry, you know, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I looked past it. I shouldn't look past it. You know, we got into, you know, another argument. Like, these arguments didn't happen, like, back to back. But when they did happen, like, you know, it wasn't very often. But a separate argument from that, he pushed me down. And, yeah. And I looked past it. And I don't know why.
Jesus, the love put a blinder on your eyes. My goodness.
Certain things I should not have just let. But I think the turning point is when he went to school. Went off to college somewhere. I'm not gonna say. But went off to college. And these girls started
He started smelling himself.
Yeah. Snapchat. Girl, let me tell you why Pastor went right on and got that right on together.
Listen, our pastor, he don't play about his girls.
He charged him
He don't
up
play
hard.
about his girls.
And then he was like, oh, I just don't love her no more, I don't think.
Wow.
I was like, at this point, like, I'm crying. I'm in front of my pastor, like, broke down, like, like, no. So, then he just was like, oh, so if I go, this is pastor, if I go, preach somewhere else, or if I go visit somewhere else, you think I'm gonna tell First Lady I don't love her no more, And he was like, no, blah, blah, blah. He was going back and forth with him. I wasn't even trying to hear, Pastor told me to do one thing. I did that one thing. And he called me later on that night to my son, I love you. I was
You're going somewhere.
I was like, I love you too. But if Pastor had knew what I just said about he wouldn't have said that.
No.
He would have been like, oh, tell him to come here. Zoe, oh.
You hear Zoe. She want to be part of the video too, y'all.
Yeah. You can be a part of the video.
It's all right. It's Zoe. Hey, girl.
Yeah, he most definitely wouldn't have
Yeah,
said. He wouldn't have said go for it. He would have had the come on back over here. Son. Let me.
He would have turned to daddy mode.
Let me talk to you a different way.
When I talk to him, he'd be like, "Do you want daddy or pastor?" I'd be like, "I want
whatever.
Give me both. Just give me both of them. Go ahead."
What you gonna say?
Okay, you want daddy or you want pastor? Oh shit.
Now,
I don't want neither, but I need it.
Imagine how hard that must be.
What? Who?
Pastor.
To do.
To operate in different. He's the same person, but he operate in different.
He's talented. Because for him to have to operate in both lanes,
yeah,
that's dope. And then you know how First Lady be like, when I need my pastor, you are my pastor, and when I need my husband, you are my husband.
Really be hard.
I'm like, oh, he got so many roles, y'all. Jesus, just think about this. Like,
not me.
I need to go get Pastor a card or something. Just give him a hug. Pastor, I love you. You do so much. Thank you.
Anyway,
sidetrack.
So I think I was saying the turning point was when he went off to school. And girls was just sending him snaps. I didn't know, y'all. I wasn't into social media. So I didn't really know how Snapchat worked or whatever.
Yeah.
But I knew the difference between somebody sending you personally a Snapchat and putting it on your story.
Oh,
they were sending it to him. And I would open them because I like Snapchat, but I couldn't get it on my phone. I had a little BlackBerry. It wasn't a smartphone.
Oh, you're back there.
Yeah. Pretty dang. So I couldn't get Snapchat on my phone. And I liked it. So I used to, mess with it on his phone, not snooping or anything.
Yeah.
And after I found that, then I started snooping. Seriously.
I would too. What else on here?
Right. They was trying
Especially
to play
if y'all
it off.
both together. I feel like, because y'all are together, it shouldn't be another person.
Right.
So it's like,
He was like, oh no, that's on her snap. She's sending it to her story. This is I was like, I know how it works. And that's to you. She was in lingerie on the bed. I was like,
oh, she had a purpose. Oh, she had a purpose.
But you don't just do, I feel like women don't just, some women might go looking for stuff, but you had to do something, I feel like. That's how I was thinking back then.
You had to get her attention in order for her to send that.
Yeah.
Because, some people, but there are some girls that's thirsty out there feel like they have to send that to get a guy's attention.
And he played football, so,
yeah. Well,
that was the turning point.
I feel like for mine, he was a rapper. And I guess real known, Fort Worth, Dallas. And before getting girls for him wasn't an issue. It wasn't.
Being faithful was.
I would say later, because I remember him talking about how he how when he would break up with one girl, and I guess he would go, what's the term I want to use? Pretty much he would go fool with some other girls. So he knew how to play the ball. I just didn't. Naive, in love, he ain't gonna do this to me. And it's like, when I look back on like certain situations, I remember one time I was just going through his phone, just because, and it was like he had nothing in there.
Nothing.
And it was his phone that he used. It was like him, was his brother in there? His brother, maybe his mom, but it wasn't like much information. Like stuff was deleted, And it's just crazy how I just think back on stuff. Because at first I don't think I would have handled it as well as I am now.
No.
When things come back up. Yeah. So.
I can tell you that for sure. No, because I would have been. See. Yeah, I don't know my mama.
And even so, when he posted like Women Crush Wednesday, his new girl, which now his wife, that whole situation, it was like.
So how was that? Like seeing him married.
You know, I honestly didn't know. When he posted Women Crush Wednesday, I knew, but I didn't think it was gonna happen that fast.
Oh. Okay.
Like I knew it was gonna happen because we broke off in January, and a few months later you married.
Yeah,
and so
that's sketchy.
And for me, it was hurtful because that's something that you expected for you and him to happen.
Yes.
Like, bro, we made this decision. We were gonna do this, and it made me think like, what about me?
Yeah. You
know, made you not want to marry me.
And I think that's valid. Yeah. I think that's a valid concern because, let me tell you. No, excuse me. I done seen now. The worst hasn't happened, and I really, at this point, I don't care if it happens. But after me and him broke up, now remember we are members of the same church.
Facts.
And I know for sure I wasn't leaving. Like. I don't care.
That was another thing that I was like, I have to break this off. I can't go to your church. I love my church too much.
Right. I'm not leaving my church. But fortunately, he was going to school, so he was away, a lot. And he would come back like on breaks and stuff. But I mean, after a month or two, I asked myself, okay, do you want to stay stuck and pity yourself over this relationship? Or do you want to move forward and grow and let this be a learning lesson and get prepared for the man God is going to send to you? And that was the question that I had to ask myself, and I chose to move on and to get prepared and it's going great. But I think like what happened was we were same members of the same church. He brought another girl to church.
I don't think that I was there yet.
I don't think you were either.
No, I wasn't there yet.
And I was with the youth at the time. So I was sitting in the back with them. Tell me why he come in there with her and sit right in front of me. Right in front of me. Y'all, let me tell you, I got a good poker face. No matter how I'm feeling or what's going on, I know how to act accordingly in the atmosphere that I'm in, the situation, the place that I'm in, I know how to act.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you if I was like on the street or if we was somewhere else, I'd be like going crazy. Because first of all, because I really do know, even though at the time I was really still immature and my mindset was not like wife mentality.
When did facts?
It wasn't a wife mentality.
I think about that too because it's like, because in 2015, 2016, I'm 25. Y'all do the math.
Right.
So I'm just thinking about like, even though I desire to marry young, I'm still young. But I don't have the same mindset as I do